Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Divine Truth Tarot. If you're new to the channel, welcome in for the first time. Have a look around, and if you're lucky enough to be catching this video as a live replay, then you will be interacting with our incredible supporters. Guys, we are so close to 10,000 subscribers. We should probably hit it, I'm thinking, this weekend. So thank you so much for that milestone, for helping us to achieve and helping me to achieve that milestone. Thank you for your support on the channel, for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for your support over on Patreon. I really appreciate that. Let's get us up to 150. We have about 80 patrons right now. My goal is to get up to at least 150. So take a look over there and check it out and see if it's something you'd like to support me with. I actually just did a written check-in for the counterparts last night because it felt very important to talk about what's going on. And I wanted to help you guys and walk you through as a guide why you're feeling the way you're feeling and why it feels like the script has literally flipped in your connection. Because as a feminine, you're likely feeling very masculine right now, and you're likely feeling confused and sort of maybe even lost on the journey. Lost but not lost. But you're feeling very differently than you did a couple months ago. So I explained that in detail on the post. And I also post extra content, early access content over there. So check it out, have a look. And if you're after an April personal reading, I am close to being booked up. I have a few more spots available, and then I'll close out April readings and we'll go into May readings. So if you're interested, reach out to me. The email is below, and let's get started. So I'm going to have a sip of my sparkling water. That is unsponsored, by the way. Happens to be my favorite brand. It's a Waterloo. And we're going to look at... Hi, kitty. Hello, crazy kitty. Did you wear yourself out? We're going to look at the Angel Tarot cards. This has been my go-to deck the past couple days. And then for clarification, I have the Light Seers Tarot. And I've brought in the Magic of You Oracle, which we may or may not use as well. How are you guys feeling? Let me know if you're in the live chat. I am still pretty exhausted. I'm not sleeping, first of all. I'm being woken up for various reasons. Dreams are very intense right now in the lead up to this new moon. And I've talked about this over the past really 8 months or so, having dreams off and on about exes. And that is a way for us to cleanse and clear our aura and cleanse and clear our system of the past, of these past connections. Some of you may be even having past life cleansing or past life clearing right now, past life dreams. And there's just a lot going on, so excuse you. As I'm shuffling, guys, I'm seeing a lot of water cards. So I saw the Queen of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and I'm not sure what the other one is, but a lot of water cards are popping out. So I do strongly feel like if you're in your, if you're, this is crazy, Six of Cups, okay. If you're in your emotions at this time, what I feel like is happening is you're picking up on either your counterpart's feelings or unresolved feelings of your own. And that's why you may be having these dreams about exes, to really resolve any conflict, resolve any pain. And like if, for instance, if you left something and it was sort of, there was never closure, you're going to be receiving closure in your dreams at this time. Some of you, I'm hearing, will also be receiving closure in the form of a song. You may hear a song that you, let's say you were married, you know, to a soulmate or a karmic, and that song may come up to provide closure. There may be some tears shed. I'm not picking up on a lot of anger. So if you're feeling the anger, you may not be in this collective that I'm currently talking about at this present moment. This is just the collective I'm picking up on for this particular reading. Picking up on more sadness and just sort of this very intense fatigue. All right, so let's get a look at what's going on. Some overarching energies. There's a lot of cards that really want to come out as I'm shuffling here. Interesting. Page of Swords, the High Priestess, and the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands sort of talks about your ships coming in, and it talks about the sort of like the waiting energy that can transpire in these connections, right? You see she's looking out to the distance, she's expecting, but it's also the expectation of things to come, the expectation of abundance, the expectation of change, the expectation of that energy of the sun card, you know, that came out in not yesterday's reading, I think I did it the day before, so Wednesday's reading. If you didn't check out that video reading, go ahead and check it out, it's up on the channel. And I actually did an extension of that reading over on Patreon as well, because I delved way more into the masculine's energy, because it's been really positive the past couple readings. There's been a significant change in the masculine energy. Take the masculine energy as within and without, your internal masculine, your external masculine. Don't just ever look at a reading and, you know, especially now, we're evolving from the place of watching readings strictly for the masculine energy, and we're evolving to the point of wanting to know what is happening inside of me, what is happening with my inner union, what obstacles or blocks are coming up, and how can I push past those in my own life. And the feminine right now, I feel like the feminines that I'm attracting, the majority of you, you've done so much work on yourself that you're now at the point where it's like, I am going to focus on me and my journey. And I talk about this again over on Patreon in the post that I did last night, which I was really compelled and called to do. It's way less about your counterpart. It's way more about you at this point. So, you know, where is it that you may have been waiting on something to come forward, or waiting for something to transpire, waiting for someone to do something when you could be doing it yourself? You know, tapping into your own masculine energy of trusting yourself, you know, trusting you to get things done, trusting you to create that stability, trusting you to create that new beginning. This is really about the feminine making long-term plans at this time. You know, we talked about the masculine energy last year a lot. In actually the end of 2019 is really when this began, when the feminine really became the chaser and the masculine really became the runner, and now the roles have reversed. So the feminine is getting a dose of what the masculine felt, and the masculine is getting a dose of what the feminine felt when he, quote unquote, left her behind, right? He didn't actually ever leave you behind, but you may have been, in a sense, leaving behind your feminine energy. And so your masculine in the outer world was showing you this, was acting as that mirror to show you this is where and how you are not paying attention to or loving or accepting your inner feminine. And so the masculine had no choice but to be like, all right, I've got to go. I've got to turn my back on you, and it's going to look really bad, and it's going to look like I choose someone else. It's going to look like I don't care. But in reality, what was happening was they were reflecting back to you as your divine counterpart, your divine mirror, the places in which basically your blind spots, what you weren't seeing. So feminine, it's time for you to make long-term plans. I talk about this, but many feminines are moving house or moving state, moving locales, moving cities, moving jobs. Things are really, like the image they give me of this Three of Wands energy is moving parts. There's a lot of moving parts going on right now in Aries season for you, feminine. And it's as though you can't sit still. It's as though there's always something to do. It's as though you can't catch your breath. And this is leaving you with zero time to even think about your counterpart. And this is not being mean. This is not like, oh, I'm going to get them back. It's nothing like that. This is just the energy of you being so immersed in your own physical world and physical life at last, and you tending to your masculine energy, and also tending to your feminine energy of wanting to create, of wanting to nurture, of wanting to be there for yourself. So I see this beautiful, blissful balance of the feminine and masculine within the feminine, okay, within the divine feminine external, whether you're a woman or a man. I see you really balancing out at this time, you know, because we have the high priestess with the Three of Wands. So it's like the masculine and the feminine energy. And I see you very in tune with your emotions, very in tune with your logical side, and also very in tune with your emotional side, right? So it's like this beautiful balance, this beautiful energy of, wow, I could really have it all. I could really create it all. And in the process of creating it all, I see that I am whole within myself. And that's really the message that's coming across right now for the feminine, is she's realizing that she is whole within herself. I'm out on the porch and I live near the airport. So if there is noise, I apologize. That's the airplanes going over. So you'll hear me pausing when that happens. I actually happen to love the noise. I don't know. So it's funny because we see patience in the Three of Wands, patience in the High Priestess. But the feminine has really mastered that lesson. I don't feel like that's something that you're like, your impulsivity has been tamed, if you will. And especially with the Page of Swords coming through here, it's interesting because there's this impulsivity coming through, this curiosity. Pages are a little bit immature, emotionally and sometimes mentally, okay, sometimes even spiritually. And yet they have this drive, this inner drive to move forward, to step out on a new path. And yet you may experience as a page in the page energy delays, sort of mixed signals, or, you know, communication that may be unsettling, challenging information, truth delivered without tact. So it's sort of like having to battle through the falsities or battle through the illusions to get to the truth of the matter. I'm going to clarify the Page of Swords because I'm really not quite sure why it's even here in this reading. Can you clarify the Page of Swords, please? That might be the masculine's energy. Can you clarify if this is the masculine's energy? If so, show me a masculine energy card. And if it's the feminine's energy, show me the feminine energy card. Two of Pentacles. Interesting. Well, Judgment, you know, is the card of forgiveness and self-redemption, freeing oneself from one's own mind, freeing oneself from harsh judgment or criticism, and thereby enabling yourself to free other people and to forgive other people as well. A really beautiful energy coming through. I'm still not totally clear why the Page of Swords is here. But this is sort of Aries energy. There's a lot of conflicting energy. There's a lot of different energy coming through. And it's kind of a little mismatch, just is really what it feels like, even energetically. Two of Pentacles. There's a balancing or a juggling going on currently with decisions that need to be made. Maybe it has to do with these long-term plans. Spirit, clarify the Two of Pentacles. Two of Swords. This is crazy. Okay. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision, a stalemate, pretending there's no problem. Okay. Interesting. So I see 2, 2, 2, and then 20 narrows down, you know, minimizes to 2. So I feel like this is talking about the connection, or it's talking about two choices. Okay. And it's sort of like a crossroads. And the Two of Swords can often indicate being like blinded by the unknown, like not being able to see clearly what's ahead. And I honestly feel like that makes sense for right now. There's a lot of paths that you can take. So as the feminine decides which path to take, I don't think it's so much a case of being worried about taking the wrong path, because I think you know that any path you take, any path forward is going to be progression. I think it's more the energy of, is there a path that is more right for me, that is more correct for me? But this can indicate a difficult choice. You know, the Two of Pentacles is like the need to balance. So I feel like there's a need to balance out these decisions, a need to balance out the choices that you are making. Perhaps some of you are being a little impulsive. Perhaps some of you are being like making rash decisions, acting without thinking, sort of a thing. I still want to get clarity on the Page of Swords. Let's actually move. Clarity on the Page of Swords, please. Okay. Well, it talks about honoring yourself, Euphoria. So this need to honor yourself in the decisions that you're making. And this challenging information that may be coming in, I feel like that's information that's coming from other people. It's that external noise or vibrations. It's like when you're tuning into the wrong radio station and it's static. You want to make sure that you're tuning into your own radio station, and then that provides clarity. And you can be curious, but at the same time understand that if there are delays or challenges occurring, it could just be that you're tuning into the wrong vibration, the wrong vibrational field. There's a lot of information out there that is at odds with maybe what you know to be true in your own heart of hearts or in your soul. Or this could just be information that feels like it no longer aligns with who you are or where you're at. We have paradisiacal, you belong to paradise. So I feel like this actually goes hand in hand with the Judgment card. It's telling us that you understand that you are a spark of the divine feminine, and that you are worthy of forgiveness, that you are worthy of abundance, that you are worthy of love, you are worthy of being here, flaws and all, physical flaws, right, perceived personality flaws. You are worthy of being here, and you belong to, this is your flesh, your human self, and this is your perfection, this is your higher self. I've seen a lot of things circulating around recently talking about, don't trust your higher self. It's like, well, your higher self is the self that's connected to God. It's the self that's connected to source. So I say trust your higher self and trust no one or no thing else, right? Nothing else. You also hear a lot of talk about the 0 point energy, the 0 point field, and it's basically where the only thing that remains is truth itself. But I think everyone's truth can be perceived differently when we're in this human form. So what is my truth won't necessarily be your truth. That's one reason that I don't perform twin flame checks. My truth may not be your truth. I may see something differently. I may perceive something differently in the reading than you would perceive or someone else would perceive. That's the beauty and that's the creativity of this work that I do. But it's just so important right now for you to listen to your own discernment and for you to listen to what you know to be true. Sacrifice. What can you let go of? Or I would rephrase this. What are you willing to let go of? I feel like this is more, what is holding you back from making these decisions? What is holding you back, right? In creating this sort of stalemate, creating this energy of I can't move forward, of blindfolding oneself, blindfolding oneself because it seems challenging to make a decision, because it's scary, because of the unknown and you don't know what lies ahead. And then, again, like the need for balance. So we can create balance by letting go of something. And you want to let go of whatever you need to let go of, feminine, before we come into that energy of the new moon. Because when the new moon comes in, it's all about accepting in the new, hopefully having already released the old with the full moon that we had in Libra 2 weeks ago. There's the King of Wands coming through again. There's the Hierophant. There's the Strength card. So some major arcana energy, actually a lot of it here with the Judgment card as well, coming in to really mark its territory and let you know that the changes that are occurring right now in the twin flame connections are bringing in answers and bringing in clarity, bringing in elated joy and euphoria. This is the card of euphoria. And remember, we have the Euphoria card here. Honor yourself, honor thyself, take off the mask. There's no need to wear that mask. when you know that you belong to paradise, when you know that you are a spark of the divine and that you're here for a significant reason. It's so much more. And I've said this before, and it can be hard to grasp this at the beginning of your journey, especially. So much more than just the romantic connection between you and your twin. These connections, you've been brought together as one soul separated into two bodies, traversing this path of this 3D world full of illusions, full of traps, full of things that try to take you off of your path, that threaten to take you away from your counterpart. This can be in the form of thoughts, in the form of ideas, in the form of other people, in the form of anything that's sort of tempting, temptations, desires, that devil energy. And you are asked to remain strong and steadfast in your faith and in your inner knowing of what this is and who this person is to you. And this is not an easy task. This is not something that is learned overnight. I honestly feel like, the more you know, the more you grow. And the higher you ascend, the higher you elevate on this journey. And we're being asked to get to that place where we're so strong with our inner knowing, and we're so nothing can take us off the path. We won't waver for anyone or anything. We know our truth. And in knowing our truth, you understand that all of this, that every single thing that's happening or has happened in your connection or in your life, everything painful, everything joyful, is all leading you higher and higher. And the joy is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Joy is a choice. You choose it every single day, or you don't choose it every single day. We choose pain or we choose joy. Suffering is optional. Pain is inevitable. I think it's Lao Tzu who said that, and I'm probably not pronouncing his name right, but forgive me for that. But that's the quote that comes to mind, is pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. The pain will be there. If you continue to suffer, that is optional. We are creating that. We recreate the story in our head. We wire our brains either towards joy and, freedom, mental freedom, or towards pain and suffering. Which would you choose? Which would you like? The Hierophant is choosing joy. He's choosing to be enlightened. He's choosing to tap into that higher self, and he wants to grow and grow and grow. And that takes a lot of inner strength and courage to stay on this path and to remain steadfast in your faith. I feel as though the feminine's faith is sort of wavering at this time collectively, and the masculines are really asked to be the ones to hold the faith. The feminines are exhausted, the feminines are tired, and the masculines are being literally tasked with, okay, masculines, it's time for you to step in and show your feminine that you've got her or you've got him, and give them a break. Because the feminine is so anchored into the physical right now that the masculine has no choice, really, because the feminine leads the way, that the masculine has no choice but to be anchored into the spiritual realms and into this Hierophant energy of, well, what is my joy? What does bring me joy? And that will always bring him back or her back to the feminine. It will always, always, always. So the King of Wands shows up again 2 days after. Remember, we had 2 King of Wands show up. So this is just proof that this king is showing up to let you know, feminine, that not only am I here, okay, not only am I here, but I'm not going anywhere. And he wants to build. He wants to build an empire. And look, we have the strength, right? The lion, the strength of the lion twice. So there's a lot of Leo energy coming through, but a lot of just fire energy. So Sag and also Aries coming through as well with the Wands energy. But this is the Leo card. And then we see the lion here. So the energy of this king who has this crown that's on fire. Very passionate, heart-fueled, heart-driven. And he wants to build an empire of light. He's really starting to see clearly. This is a man who has really done his work in the spiritual realm. He's a visionary. He can see things and he knows how to bring them to fruition. He has the right people, the right resources, the right mechanisms to bring things to fruition. He's charismatic. He's a natural born leader. And there's a lot of soul inspiration in this card. He wants to be more unapologetic about these wild visions that he has, about this, like what's inside of him. He's had these visions for quite some time. It's just that the world has dulled him. The world has snuffed out his inner fire. And he's like, I'm done with that. I want to express myself. I want to show the world who I am. I want to build this empire. And he wants to build it with you because there's nobody else that he could build this empire with. You're the missing part. You're the missing link. Spirit, tell me more about this King of Wands. The Magician. There's so much major arcana energy here. Wow. Ace of Swords. So new beginnings that are, forming in the mental realm, in the mental space, in the mind, that are going to be brought forth into the physical world by this King of Wands energy. It's funny. I mean, he's got so many ideas right now, but they're passionate ideas. He has a lot of tools in his tool belt right now, feminine. He's like starting to realize, wait a minute, everything that I adored about my feminine, I actually have. And so instead of looking outward, right, he's now looking inward. I have everything that I need. I am everything that I need. And it doesn't mean he doesn't need you. It means that he's realizing that he can create this empire while you're creating your empire, and then you will merge your empires together and create this empire of light, this empire of passion that's going to change the world. Think about how powerful it could be or will be when all counterparts are brought together in the physical world. He knows that he can manifest the life that he wants. He's really, guys, I cannot stress this enough. I mean, with the Hierophant here, he's starting to realize how magical life is. You notice that the cards that are coming out now for the masculine are much more spiritually based. You don't see a lot of Pentacles energy coming out right now for the masculines. You see it for the feminines, right? I think the feminine got the 9 of Pentacles the other day. You're seeing Wands energy, the spiritual realm for the masculines, because this is where they're at right now. They're working with Archangel Raziel. They're working with Archangel Jeremiel. They're working with feminines, working with Archangel Haniel, tapping into their intuition. And the masculines are sensing this renewal. They're sensing that something is on the brink of happening. It's the brink of a new beginning. He knows that it's time to move forward. Look, he's got the Emperor. He's got that chess piece. Where do I place the chess piece? He's like, I'm all set to go. I'm polished. I'm ready. I'm comfortable. I've got everything I need. Who or what is the missing chess piece? It's the feminine. And it's been his spiritual side that's been missing, that's been dormant. He wasn't allowed to, he was not in his previous life in this world. I'm talking about the previous life with the karmic or whatever. Karmic job, karmic partner, probably all the above. He wasn't allowed to express himself. He wasn't allowed to be this King of Wands because it wasn't welcomed in that environment. So we have the 3 of Cups here. Celebration. Look, renewal and celebration. He wants to celebrate with you. He wants to come and bring that beginning that's manifesting in his mind, that he wants to manifest. It's manifesting in the higher realms. It's manifesting in his mind. It's only a matter of time before it manifests in the physical world. He's coming in not only as the King of Wands, but the King of Cups. He's coming in as a man who is in his emotions at this time. He's coming in as a man who is no longer afraid of expressing himself in that manner. Think about how many times your masculine wanted to say something. They wanted to say, I love you. You could feel it. You could sense it. You could taste it. And then they just didn't say it. It's all those words that are left unsaid that have been haunting the masculine for quite some time. Ever since the masculine stepped into this so-called chaser energy and the feminine stepped into this runner energy, the masculine's like, God, I can't keep up with her even energetically. And that's what it feels like. That's why he's having to do all this work energetically, is because it seems like she's light years ahead. It feels to him like, man, I've got a lot of work to do to catch up. So a lot of the feminines that are feeling exhausted, one of the reasons, there's several reasons, but one of the reasons is because your masculine is trying to catch up to you, and you're doing some transmuting there. You're tapping into his energy. The King of Cups tells me that there are masculines who are awakened to their emotional intelligence, that they now understand, they have more empathy. Not sympathy, but empathy. I can walk in your shoes. I understand what it's like to be you. I understand what I put you through. I understand how that must have felt. I understand the pain I've caused other people in my life. I understand how my decisions have affected not just myself, but everyone in my life. That's huge, hugely significant. This is somebody who's supportive, somebody who knows how to be nurturing. So perhaps you sense that about your masculine, or you even got a taste of it, feminines, and then you just felt like, but it's just not, like, there's something he's hiding. There's something he's not telling me. There's something he's not showing me. This is a man whose heart is deeply, profoundly affected by this connection. He holds a lot of love and a lot of wisdom in this heart. And if he can connect to his heart, he can be a better leader. He'll be a better King of Wands with this King of Cups energy inside of him. And the Emperor, of course, is more logical. The Emperor makes decisions. The Emperor is like, okay, analyzing. So it's good to have this mix of the Emperor energy, the King of Wands, the King of Cups, the Three of Cups, wanting to celebrate, wanting, if you had a workaholic masculine, they're now wanting to take vacations. They're now wanting to celebrate. They're now wanting to let their hair down, so to speak. They're tired of this life that was so not only meaningless for them, but just repetitive. It was a life they had to escape from, and they now want to create a life that they don't have to escape from. Yeah, and who's guiding them home? Who's guiding them towards this life? But yet again, here we have the Star. So cards are repeating themselves, guys, from a couple days ago, from 2 days ago when I did the reading. We had the Star in that reading as well. You are guiding them home. You are that light that's leading them towards this spiritual awakening or reawakening or reevaluation, the spiritual depth that they're experiencing, this emotional depth that they're experiencing. And, there's a lot of energy in here about making long-term plans in this reading. What is happening right now is laying the groundwork for the future in all of these connections. What does the masculine wish to lay the groundwork? Wow, I don't even know where to put all these cards. Knight of Cups. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions. An invitation to a social event. This can often indicate your masculine may be inviting you to an important event. For some of you, I said this in the last reading, and I do not say this lightly. Some of you are going to be receiving an engagement ring by the end of this year, or at least by next year, by 2022. A select few, maybe by the end of 2021, you'll know who you are. But some of you, it's going to be I think a majority, it's going to be 2022. Commitment is on the horizon in the collective. And I just see a lot of weddings of divine counterparts happening. You may be invited to a wedding and then realize that they're divine counterparts. You may just be, and then you may have a run-in with your divine counterpart at that wedding and have a reunion or something like that. Like crazier things have happened. And I know someone's going to email me and say, that's exactly what's happening. I've been invited to a wedding. My divine counterpart's going to be there. This is going to be our reunion or something like that. I really feel like the masculines are going to be wanting to expose is the word that's coming to mind. Expose the relationship to people in their life. They're going to, once they're free of those old relationships, okay, those marriages, whatever they were, they're going to want to bring the feminine back into their life. They're going to want to bring you back into their life in a way in which they hadn't before. They're going to want to be not only vocal about this connection, they're going to want to sort of brag about it. They're going to want to tell everyone, their friends and family, everyone they work with. No more hiding. So if you were hidden by your masculine, they're now wanting to take this connection out of the closet, so to speak, and introduce you to the world. Spirit, tell me more about introducing the feminine to the world. This is crazy. 9 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. New beginnings all over the horizon here, guys. New beginnings. Okay, let's start with a 9. I mean, we know what the 9 of Cups is. It's wish fulfillment. Your wish comes true, or wishes. Concerns fade away in a love for life. Guys, we have the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Knight, and King of Cups. This is crazy. We have the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the 9 of Cups. This is wild. I just want to hold this here for a second. This is crazy. Look at this. So whatever doubts you're feeling right now, feminine, I hate it when the cards fall. You guys know that Virgo energy comes out in me, and I'm like, no. You see how I watch back my videos a lot, just, so I can perfect them, because I have a Virgo North Node, and I'm realize how much I have to, like touch the cards and make sure that they're perfectly lined up, and then they end up falling anyway. And that's the part of me that I've learned to fall in love with, that's part of me, and that's okay that I do that. And that's part of what the healing the feminine is going through right now, is accepting all parts of yourself. And the more that you can do that, the more that the masculine is going to continue to come out of their shell and accept themselves and accept that they are the magician, and bringing in this new beginning in the physical world. I mean, the emotions, the groundwork has been laid. The emotions are there. Guys, if you're feeling heart chakra activations or opening, this can be expressed in different ways. As a disclaimer, please see a doctor if you think this is anything medically related. I have to say that. But if you're feeling heart palpitations, you're feeling like this heart opening. Sometimes it feels like someone's literally walking on your chest. Sometimes it can feel like you are just being literally like your heart is just being blasted wide open, and you're feeling everything. You're feeling everyone's energies, the weight of the world, and you're crying, and then you're laughing. Like yesterday I was sitting there and my singing gifts are starting to come in. So I'm starting to, as promised by Holly, our medical intuitive, who I'll be introducing to the channel later this month. So sitting there, and I started to sing in my backyard, and I was hanging out with the kitties and the animals, and I was singing and making up my own lyrics, exactly what she said I would do. And I was laughing in joy. It was my inner child, just because I've always wanted to be able to sing. And I noticed that my voice not only has changed when I speak, it's deeper, but I'm able to actually carry a tune. And I was able to really enjoy that. And so I was sort of like poetry singing, if you will, if that's a thing. I'm going to make it a thing. Don't take that. That's my thing. So I was singing poetry, and I was just enjoying the moment. And then I was laughing, and then in the next moment I was, crying, and then I was laughing again. And I thought, if I didn't know better, I think I was going crazy. But this is this journey opening you up, helping you blossom like a lotus flower, literally opening up your petals one by one, so that you show the world, you expose yourself to the world, you show yourself the real you. So feminine, the more that you can expose yourself to the world and show the world the real you, the more your masculine's going to want to show you off to the world. You see how that works? And just trust that your emotions are valid. Trust that you are supported, and allow yourself to feel these emotions. Don't feel ashamed for whatever is coming up at this time or ever. So Ace of Pentacles, this is that solid, stable, brand new beginning that's being contained, not contained, I don't like that word, that's blossoming in the physical world. Lots of things. I feel like the twins are going to be working together. You're going to be creating brilliance together, creating, you create more abundance together. I wish that's what the masculines don't understand, is they think they can create abundance on their own. You actually need your feminine to create the ultimate abundance. She is a part of your ultimate abundance package. So you need your feminine in order to create and really become abundant masculines. There's no way around that. Anybody else you try to create abundance with, it's going to go to shit. It just will, especially at this level, especially at this point in the journey. So just give in to this connection. And feminines, the more you give in to yourself, the more you really honor yourself, the more you love yourself, the more you bring yourself this pure, unadulterated, unconditional love, the more you show yourself that acceptance and love, the more the masculine's going to want to create with you in the physical world. And the more they're going to step forward, because they're going to have no choice but to listen to their heart. You see, this man's eyes are closed, and when the eyes are closed, the heart speaks. So masculines are deep, deep, deep in their emotions right now. You're going to be feeling this as we lead up to this new moon, because this new moon is connected to abundance. It's connected and conjuncting with Jupiter, the sign of manifestation, the sign of good luck, the sign of abundance. And Jupiter brings with it a lot of positive energy. So you might even be tapping into Jupiter's energy now as we lead up to the new moon. You might even just be feeling just happy, joyful, giddy, right? Blissful for no reason. That's this new moon is bringing with it a lot of serendipity, a lot of magic. So guys, tune in and tune up and really, tap in with your tentacles, right? Tap in with your antenna, the antenna that you have, the antenna to those higher realms. Trust that everything is falling into place. And I feel like this reading was a bit kind of all over the place, but that's really where the energy is at. And I think a lot of beautiful messages came through. So I hope you guys enjoyed the reading. I send you so many blessings of love and divine abundance, divine truth, and ultimate joy. Take good care, and I'll see you soon.